Nation, how's it going? This is Alex Yoon. You're watching the Marvel edition of the Ragin Nation show. This is Webster's. We're talking about all things matter to me in the world of Marvel films. This is episode number 114, and in this episode we got a lot to talk about, a lot of updates for what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Captain America Civil War kicked off Phase 3 with a bang, and a bang it was. It made a big box office bang. I'm going to do a really quick box office update for Captain America Civil War in just under 2 weeks. Domestically, it has made $306.6 million worldwide. It has made $971.9 million. That's just under $1 billion in just under 2 weeks. Imagine what it can do in 2 months. It is going to do Avengers level numbers, and by that I mean, well, check out these numbers. Avengers did make $1.5 billion. Avengers Age of Ultron made $1.4 billion, and by the end of its theatrical run, Captain America Civil War will do those kind of numbers. Maybe not at the same level as Avengers, but most likely around the level of Avengers Age of Ultron, ending at $1.4 billion. That is impressive. I'm really happy for the success of Captain America Civil War, and speaking of which, Captain America Civil War and its huge box office success contributed to the $10 billion gross of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole. Since 2008, starting with Iron Man, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has grossed over $10 billion. $10 billion. Yeah, $10 billion worldwide. That's just over $1 billion a year. That's a lot of money, and that is a huge success. So that's awesome. Congratulations to Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige for doing such an awesome job, everybody who's worked at Marvel Studios, including the cast, and of course Disney. So that's awesome for them putting together the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I'm loving every minute of it. So, of course, one of the biggest things about Captain America Civil War and what made it awesome is, of course, the introduction of all these different characters like Spider-Man and Black Panther, and also developing other characters that we already know and love. One of the characters that we really love is, of course, Spider-Man. Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, was one of the biggest highlights of the film. It really got us pumped up for SpiderMan Homecoming, which is coming out in 2017. What's so great about all that is that Kevin Feige did confirm that they have full creative control over how they handle Spider-Man and SpiderMan Homecoming. In fact, I'm just going to read you a quote that he said about this. Amy Pascal, Tom Rothman, who runs Sony now, I've known for years, so it's been great. They're really supportive in allowing us to make the creative decisions to make Spider-Man Homecoming. They've been great partners. So far, so good on that movie. So that's looking really good, looking really positive. We know how Sony handled Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3, wasn't that great. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 could have been a lot better. So with Marvel Studios and their amazing track record under control, man, Spider-Man Homecoming could be the Spider-Man film that we have all been waiting for. So very, very awesome stuff. Moving on, of course, Black Panther was a huge highlight for Captain America Civil War. The introduction was awesome. Chadwick Boseman did an amazing job as Black Panther, and also, once again, just like Spider-Man, it's got us pumped up for the solo film. So what's going on with Black Panther? Well, now they're casting, and of course we know Chadwick Boseman's back as Black Panther, but who else is going to be cast in the film? Well, Michael B. Jordan, who played Creed in Creed, who played the young Creed in Creed, he is officially joining the cast in Black Panther, and that is awesome, because I loved Creed, and I thought Michael B. Jordan should have deserved some kind of award for his performance in Creed, because he did excellent. So I'm so glad that he's part of the cast. I don't know who or what he's going to play, but he's a really solid actor. Also joining the cast is Lupita Nyong'o, who played Maz Kanata in Star Wars The Force Awakens, and also from Star Wars The Force Awakens alumni, John Boyega could possibly be joining the cast. He tweeted something about going to Wakanda. Actually, it was all about a meeting with Kevin Feige, but he quickly deleted that tweet, actually I couldn't find it anymore. But it actually is about his meeting with Kevin Feige, and this suggests that he's going to join the cast of Black Panther. And if he does, awesome. I love John Boyega. He's such a cool guy. Really cool human being. I mean, I could totally hang out with the guy. And he's turning out to be one of my favorite actors, even though I've only seen him in 2 films, Attack the Block and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. But anyways, it's great to know that he's joined this cast. A really talented actor. Another highlight of Captain America Civil War is, of course, what they did with Black Widow, and that is give Black Widow a lot of great moments. Black Widow has always been able to handle herself in the previous times that she's appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Iron Man 2, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and now Captain America Civil War, where she has not only so much screen time, but a lot of screen time kicking ass. And based on a fan-created poll, I think it's fan-created, it shows that the next solo film that the fans want to see is a Black Widow solo film. And Kevin Feige actually responded to that, telling the fans that he's committed to making it happen. Just not right now. Phase 3 is already stacked. They already included SpiderMan Homecoming and also Ant-Man and the Wasp at the last minute, so there's no room for a Black Widow solo film, but they're committed to making it happen. Most likely the earliest is Phase 4, so 2020. That's a long time from now, but still, it's great to know that it is finally happening and things are moving forward. So that is awesome. Another thing that is great about Captain America Civil War is the developments in the Tony Stark character and all the Iron Man and Captain America fight scenes. And I think Robert Downey Jr. had a lot of fun with Captain America Civil War. I think he really did. Before he mentioned that he's no longer going to do a solo Iron Man film. He felt that he just wants to move on. And then but he's totally fine with playing characters, like supporting character roles in other films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as long as it's not his film. And he's already signed on to once again reprise his role as Iron Man in the Infinity Wars films, but he did mention that he wouldn't mind coming back for more. And by for more, I'm referring to another Iron Man solo film, possibly Iron Man 4, which could come out in Phase 4. So if he's interested in playing it, then they're not going to say no. And I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to see how, how the Marvel Cinematic Universe has progressed and how the Tony Stark character has progressed through all of the different phases, because we've seen how everything happened, or rather everything turned out in Phase 3. What's going to happen in Phase 4? What's going to happen to the Iron Man character after that? That's going to be interesting. Speaking of which, Chris Evans also made the same type of comment. Chris Evans mentioned that once he's done with his contract with Marvel, he's done. He's going to move on to directing and working on directing smaller films and independent films and things like that. He wants to go into more of the artistic direction of filmmaking. And, good on him for doing that. I really respect that. But just like Robert Downey Jr., he mentioned that he had a lot of fun working on Captain America Civil War, and it's possible that if Marvel asked him to reprise his role as Captain America, he will be back. He wouldn't mind doing it again after Infinity War, so that's always exciting. But I was always curious about what's going to happen if Chris Evans wasn't going to return. Is Falcon going to hold the shield, or is Bucky going to be the next Captain America? Who knows? But anyways, that won't be happening because Captain America, or rather Chris Evans will be back for more if they let him back in. Let's talk about the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers who directed Winter Soldier, Civil War, and also who are directing the Infinity Wars film. They confirmed that Avengers Infinity War Parts 1 and 2 will be retitled because they are 2 very different movies. It's not just about the Thanos war. It's the Infinity War and just fighting Thanos. There's a lot more to it. In Infinity War Part 1, they might not even fight Thanos. They might be fighting somebody else, and then finally in Infinity War Part 2, which is going to be retitled, then they finally go head-to-head, or rather toe-to-toe with Thanos. So, they're going to be 2 very different films, and therefore they're going to be receiving 2 very different titles. They also hinted that Captain Marvel will be appearing in Infinity War, as well as other characters, such as characters from Guardians of the Galaxy, like Peter Quills, aka Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, and also Drax the Destroyer. So now that's all up in the air. They haven't signed anybody on officially, but the fact is that Infinity War is supposed to include a huge cast from characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that Infinity War will be shooting in November back to back. All right, really exciting stuff. Now, some things we're missing in Captain America Civil War is that is the exclusion of Hulk and also Thor. But there's something else that's going to be excluded in Thor Ragnarok, and that is Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman is confirmed to not return, according to Kevin Feige. She will not be returning to the next Thor installment, Thor Ragnarok. And he also mentioned that 80 to 90% of the film will take place in the other 8 realms. Now, I'm pretty disappointed that Natalie Portman won't be returning, but I hope they really address that. Having it take place in 80 to 90% of the other 8 realms, that kind of makes sense, considering that if it does take place in those other 8 realms, then Natalie Portman, who's from Earth, well, she's not going to be joining them along for the ride, mainly because, well, it's not Earth. They already decided that she wants to stay on Earth. And if, they're going off jumping all over, we're realm jumping, then well, she's not going to be in it. Speaking of realm jumping in the other 8 realms, you know that this is a buddy movie with Hulk. And Thor and Hulk are going to be doing a lot of stuff in Thor Ragnarok. So Kevin Feige did mention it's kind of like a road trip buddy movie. So them going from all the 8 realms, kicking all kinds of ass, really exciting stuff. So yeah, that's what's going on with Thor Ragnarok. And now let's talk a little bit about Phase 4. And there's no word on what is happening in Phase 4. Maybe another Captain America sequel. Maybe another Iron Man film. Because Robert Downey said he would be up for another one. But the most likely candidates are a Black Widow solo film and also Inhumans. Because if you don't already know, Inhumans actually got removed from the Phase 3 calendar. It is no longer in Phase 3. But that doesn't mean that Kevin Feige, or rather, it doesn't mean that we won't see Inhumans later on in the future. They just don't have room for it, and they just don't think it's the right time to tell the Inhumans story. Things are going to get a little weirder in Phase 4. We're not going to be seeing the same traditional types of films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we're so used to from Phase 1. It's going to be really different. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has been changed up a lot. The Avengers is stirred up. So bringing in Humans in Phase 4 makes a lot of sense. So hopefully that's what's going to happen, because I'd love to see that happen. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is something a little bit mysterious. Sharon Stone did an interview at the Late Late Show of James Corden, and she mentioned this. I'm going to do a Marvel film. I'm just doing a wee part in a Marvel film upcoming, and I can't tell because, you have to sign a confidentiality agreements, but I'm going to do a wee part in a Marvel movie now. That's it. Now, by Marvel movie, she could mean a movie in the Fox Marvel Universe or also the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We don't know which one it is, but she has a wee part, and she's no stranger to comic book films because she was in the abysmal Catwoman film. But anyways, if it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm sure she's going to be written in for a pretty decent role. She says it's a wee part, but it could be substantial. I don't know, but could be anything, but I'm just throwing it out there. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. I'm really excited right now because the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going through all these different changes. Not the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the Avengers and the characters that we know and love. There's so much development going throughout all these different films, and I just love to see it progress. So really excited about all the upcoming films. Let me know which one you are excited for. Black Panther, SpiderMan Homecoming, a Black Widow solo film. What is it? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Story. Now, I'm not gonna give you the details of the story away. I'll just tell you that this isn't like your standard superhero story.